Good afternoon to you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My name is Emmanuel. I'm not from South Africa, but I'm from Africa. Though I've got landmarks in South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. I'm the managing consultant and founder for Third Eye Africa Consulting Group, and I'll be leading a discussion with my co-presenters here, the role of data in driving AI innovation, quality versus quantity. The role of data in driving AI innovation, quality and quantity. Now, when we look on the topic, the role of data in driving innovation, there are two things that we need to understand. The first thing that we need to understand is the word data. And the second thing that we need to understand is AI. And the third thing that we need to understand as well is quality versus quantity. So we are going to unpack the topic whilst I'm asking them and try to see how best we can learn the relationship between data and AI. Maybe to start asking, gentlemen, my dear professionals, you know, these guys are the gurus in data. That's why they are here. So they are going to unpack everything in relation to that topic. Can I ask a question to you? What is the relationship between data and AI? Which one starts first? What is the relationship? Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for this question. So, for me, the fuel of AI is data. So, see, AI means artificial intelligence, and computer doesn't have the intelligence. We all know that. So, only thing a computer gets the intelligence with the data, plus human experience, the domain expertise. So yes, as I said, without data, there is no AI. For understanding the AI, for me, so if you have a lot of data, for example, let's say I have your 1 year call record, 1 year your searching history, 1 year your information about the logging. We can predict a very precise prediction about you because we have your data, we have your pattern. So yes, data is the fuel of AI. So that's right. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I got a point that without data there is no AI, and I would like to extend also over to you, just to explain to us the relationship between data and AI. It's one thing having data, and also it's one thing being able to relate the two. What is the relationship between data and AI?
Thanks, Samuel. Hi, good afternoon, audience. Relationship between data and AI, it's like data is a fuel, which Vishal rightly put in. But if you see today, the evolution of AI is really transforming, and we will see a significant transformation in AI models, the way it's going to operate. We have heard the news a couple of weeks back how the DeepSeek have done to NVIDIA. So what I see, data is very important, and data is important, massive data is important in certain specific types of problem, like large language models, where the complexity of a problem is such that you need massive masses of data. But at the same time, there are coming efficient models, which data might be created synthetically, and you need a quality annotated data. So it's obvious, without data, models may not work. But whether we are getting a high quality of data, labeled data, and to a specific problem, I think that is something which is going to evolve. And still, I would say AI is still in nascent stage because most of the problems have not been solved yet. So we will need lot of data. For example, suppose in autonomous vehicle, when the road conditions in different weathers, whether it's snowing, whether it's raining, or whether it's a fog, you need a lot of data to train the models. It's still a driving car, but road conditions, climate conditions, those needs a lot of data. So I think that relationship is very strong, but there is an evolution where algorithm will advance, where maybe if you have some, not that much of data in certain problem, like medical, but you have a good quality data, it will solve the purpose. That's
you.
my take.
Thank you. Can you unpack to us what's the relationship between data and AI?
Good afternoon, all. I take it this way. So what's the relation between the AI model and the data? That's why I understand your question. So they are interrelated. Without data, there is no model. The model wouldn't give any valuable output, or there is no output actually without giving data. Without some kind of processing or some kind of prediction or some kind of analysis, data is of no use. So they are interrelated. So I think the eventual question that I understood is, so what kind of data, the quality of data, the quantity of data, those things matter a lot. So what amount of data is sufficient for a model to give a desired outcome or valuable prediction that can be used? Or what kind of logic or whether the algorithm is working using the data to give the right kind of prediction or not. So that's how I see it. So they are interrelated. So the data plays a very, very important role, and quality data plays even more important role in creating the right kind of model and are spoiling the model also. So that's how those are related.
Thank you. He linked it very well, and he introduced the issue of data quality. I would like, there is a saying which says data is the nutrition for AI. So since it is a nutrition for AI, if you feed AI with wrong data, what it means is there will not be results that comes out there. So data is the new nutrition for AI. It's actually an oil for AI. Now we go on to the next question that I would like to ask. How do we relate quantity of data and quality of data? We are living in a world where there is a lot, believe me, a lot of data. And it's not all data that is very vital and important, as you have clearly indicated it. How best can we get quality data, or how best can we bridge the gap between the quality and the quantity of data?
Sure. Let me continue then. So you can have enormous amount of data. You loaded planet volume of data and created a generative AI. And you are not done. You barely scratch the surface. You have another planet load of data already now. So your algorithm is not really fit yet. So you have still work to fine tune that. If you have too much data, you may overfit, and as a result, you may have challenges. If you have too less data, you have bias, where you end up actually reworking your model. So both ways, you have to somehow tune that. What is the optimum amount of data, right? So that's the challenge we are in. So each day we are piling up more and more data, and the current model is not really fitting. So the challenge in front of us is, what's the optimum amount of data for your model? And it's selective to your own domain. That's how I see it.
Thank you. Anyone who wants to try, how do we bridge that gap between data quality and data quantity? He has indicated that if we have too many data without quality, it becomes a problem. If we don't have data again, it becomes a problem because we don't know where to refer to. The data will be very, very, very at a minimum rate. So can we bridge a gap between data quality and data quantity? How best can we do that as leaders?
Sure. So Emil, first we need to define what do you mean by quality of data. So to me, data has to be complete. It has to have accuracy. It has to have reliability. It has to be on near real time. This all mix of different things will define the data quality index. And then how you acquire the data. Data acquisition itself becomes an important point. So before even going whether data quality and how it relates to model, I think there is a lot of emphasis, and when with the advent of AI, I think data stewards is one role which is coming up, I think, in every aspect, where you have a person at the data acquisition endpoints, and there are different AI tools emerging up. There is a Fairness AI 360 by IBM toolkit, which try to define and try to give an alert if your data is not accurate as per your standards. So acquiring the right quality of data is paramount, and that too in specific areas. So imagine in medical records. So I just want to throw out data points. In India, there are only 20,000 radiologists, and there are companies like 5i Networks who are taking all the MRI scanners machines to the next level. So 20,000 radiologists serving 1.4 billion population. Now in medical, imagine if data is not right, the quality is not good, how you're going to build the models. I come from a finance background. We do underwriting. Lots of data is available from bureau. But what about the fraud data? So how do I tag the right data and give to my models? So without right quality of data, it's difficult where your model give you accurate results. Having said that, still there are problems which are dependent on the quantity of data. Unstructured data when it comes to text, videos. I think there what large language models has able to do good job, because you don't have a lot of annotated data. It's a free text. So they have collected data from Wikipedia or a lot of search engines data. And the algorithms are trained so that they can interpret the data rightly and throw a reasonably good results. That will keep on evolving. But of course, future lies, and that too on a specific problem. If your problems are very critical, specific, you need right quality of data.
Thank you. I would like to ask you a question. We have indicated that there is a lot of data that is worldwide at disposal. Don't you think that AI is going to dig deeper and need much data in the world? What do you suggest?
Okay. So I will take a step back. So more data also involve the cost as well. So let's think, what is AI, So the whole world is trying to see, can computer work like human does? Can computer have the emotion like the human? Can computer do the reasoning like a human, right? So to building this kind of world, you need an infrastructure, right? And so basically, data is important. If you see at the last panel, they were talking about the cloud, about the elasticity. Because any AI model needs a budget, needs infrastructure. So yes, so what generally industry is going to do, or what the company are doing, they capture the data they require. And we have, before applying the AI model, we have to remove the noise from the data, whether it's a social media data or any data from your organization, so that once you remove the noise, there might be a chance the data will come to 60%, 40%. So for me, yes, we need to see, as of now, I also believe, I think some gentleman, Elon Musk said, every job will be optional after 4 years. I also believe in that. So everything what human does, we can replicate the brain of a human with the data in machine, and machine take a decision. He said it very rightly, and I used to say always, think about a veteran doctor. In his whole life scan can only see 10,000 MRI or 30,000 MRI, right? Think about the world. You create a knowledge system where all the experts of the radiologist define the KPIs, define the machine, and he knows what to get the data from the MRI. A college pass out coming from, MBBS degree, and he had the same knowledge which the veteran doctor, 20 years he has spent to gain the knowledge. So AI is also going with the right data, with the quality data. We are going to knowledge the knowledge. If you think about the HR, this is the HR system, right? HR can be the backbone of Indian technology. If you see in India, we are not in the B2B products. We are the resellers. We are not building a lot of good products because there the role of HR can play the cornerstone. Why in India we are not beating the beat? There might be a chance we are not respecting the good coders. So now also they have the data rather than only thinking about the happiness or events. They can think about, there might be a chance someone is in college, he's very good the coding, he doesn't care about the 80%, 90%. can we create the knowledge system where we should start respecting the core techies? So this is the data. Definitely, we need to generate the data, and HR has also take care of all the things. So data, quality data is always important, but you have to always go for the budget, go to the account manager. So we have to be very smart. Hey, get the data, remove the noise, process only those data which we get the information, and do the iteration of the data, because as human always keeps thinking, changing the dimension. So once you have the learning, you have to iterate the model, yes. So yes, data quality is important, but as a techie, you need to smart, hey, how can I process the less amount of data to get the information with the less budget? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The issue of data is a topic or subject worldwide, and once we talk about data, obviously, we also need to talk about how we should protect that data. He has brought in a good subject where he said that HR is supposed to take care of the data, the quality of the data. But I understand that in India here, it's 2013 or 2003, I'm not sure, where the Data Protection Act was put forward to protect data. What's your view on data protection and data in relation to the data which is at disposal? How best can we protect the data which we have in various organizations? There is a debate. Some are saying we need to come up with data protection officers that should take care of the data. Some are saying, no, it's the IT department that should take care of the data. And the HR are also coming up to say, no, we have the data which we have. We should be the custodians of the data. What's your view with regards to that? Because I understand each organization have got different policies with relation to data. But what's your view with regards to data protection?
I can take it up this question. So see, there are debates. So once you publish to the internet, I also believe that is the public data. Your website data or any research you publish to the internet, there's a public data. There's things are going on, debate is going on. But this is something, AI is something for the society. This is the evaluation. Human brain is wired to evaluate. Now, from the machine ask, hey, do your work, give me a 3 days work, let me work only 6 hours. As one of the gentlemen said, the companion, hey, help me out, can I go home just 4 hours? Why should I suffer in the traffic? So now, data security for any enterprise, so it's the gentleman also coming from the big enterprise, they have the data security, right away, the infrastructure in the place, technically it is called the web server, app server, the firewall, port opening. These are enterprise data, but yes, whenever there are customer sensitive data, do we have the right data access policy, even for the HR? Am I going to expose all the data, HR data, or am I going to expose only the stakeholders can see the data? So there is a lot of, technically there is nothing big role. Yes, we can train the machine consume the data, customer centric, it will do the encryption, data masking. So there is a lot of technology, it's not nothing, but yes, I believe, in my opinion, if any company expose the data to the internet, let society explore the data. Yeah.
That's very true. Thank you.
So let me add a little bit. So remember Tay, the Microsoft fictitious character. So it released on Twitter, and within a day, it was to be brought down. Why? Because, for generative AI kind of models, people can poison the data. And the model becomes absolutely useless right now, right next to that. So you need some serious policies that govern the data coming in, going out, and those models that auto-train the data on the run. You got to have some really, really strict data governance policies. You have to have data custodians. And there are some automated procedures that check the quality of data transforming as the model self-tuning itself. So that's how we should protect in the world of generative AI.
Okay.
Just want to add, Emil. So you're teaching the topic of ethical AI in the context of AI of data privacy. So and I'm talking only in the context of AI. When you're training when you're training your AI models on a lot of data, and when I'm saying maybe a proprietary data, when you're training in-house models in a proprietary data environment, I think there will be a lot of data governance and ethical practices will take a center stage. For example, even today we have a AI recruitment tool in HR. Now, where we need to be cautious is that that algorithm does not bring the biasness or unethical practices when you do a hiring or shortlisting of resumes in terms of gender or racial biasness. So you need to be very careful that how you do ethical AI. Second, you have, now in India we have a DPT Act which is going to be live in next 2 months, which does not allow, without the consent of a customer, you share the data or you do any marketing activity. So even data privacy in Europe, we have GDPR Act. So I think as more and more automation through AI models going to happen, and that is the reality of life, there will be enough work to be done where the data privacy is I think, prevented, and those kind of roles would be very prominent, because the leakage of data has a reputation precautions for any organization. So that's about.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we have discussed that. We have discussed about data protection. We have discussed about the quality of data, quantity of data, data feeding into AI models. We said it's a nutrition. I would like to ask a question, maybe the last question that I'm going to ask is, in your experience, have you ever got a temptation where you prioritize more on data quantity instead of data quality? How do organizations maneuver, or what recommendations can you give to the listeners with regards to data quality and data quantity? Vishal.
So, as I said, to start something, we have very smartly what kind of data we need. So always there must be a good planning. So we need data, man. So let's say I want to replicate the brain of a doctor. But my brain works in that way. I want to replicate the brain of a lot of experts of India or the world, so the system can take the advantage of their brain. So yes, we have to define what kind of data we need. First, yes, we need a lot of data to some extent, and then we can remove the noise. What is the target? For any job, there is a target, right? So we can consume the raw data, remove the noise, and then we can go for the quality data. This is the journey, You cannot create a model. You can create the model in the LinkedIn, but you cannot create the model in real life. So this is kind of journey. You start a journey, some set of data, the target, the iteration, removing a noise. As I said earlier, cost is always involved. Hey, can I use the data in such a way with the minimum hardware? Can I do? That's why, why DeepSeek crashed the US market. Because they showed the world, hey, we can process the data. We don't need a big NVIDIA server. So this impacted a lot of rich guys across the world because they showed the world. So infrastructure is also important, but we need a data. We have to be smart. There is no thesis, general theory. It depends what is your ask, what is the raw data available to you, how can you remove the noise, how can you process, do the training, do the testing, do the iterations, keep training the model. So two things, yes, because for the data you need a processing power. So yeah, so always we need it's very, it's a journey. I can't say, okay, this is the quality data. So once you release to the user, say, no, this model is not right, do the iteration. There might be, again, you have to feed the data, do the review. It's an iteration for me, yeah.
Okay.
So, Atul, my take on the temptation of data, I think it's going to prevail. What you need to see is the reason why model needs a data, whether it's a data hungry model, what specific task you're solving. That will exist. So it's a easy and short term where, for example, in e-commerce recommendation system, there are millions of users. They come and they click on the website. They click on the product pages. In those scenarios, you need a lot of data, and company will keep on acquiring those data. Now, to overcome this temptation, there are multiple ways. One is whether you have the capability to have a advanced algorithm AI models where you have less data, still you can create a meaningful thing, but again, on the specific task. Second, as I mentioned earlier, your data acquisition strategy, or your how you can synthesize or you can annotate the data, which the acquiring data become costlier. So how there is a data strategy where even if you don't want to get more in data, can you recreate quality, meaningful data within that limited data? I think that is the key. But I think still we are not in a stage where data acquisition has reached to its plateau. Given a lot of different types of problems which AI is going to solve, data acquisition will still be have a weightage more, at least in near time.
So I think quality and quantity are not mutually exclusive. They are complementing. A quality data of good quantity is what would be ideal. And if you have extremely good quality data but finite amount, you try to overfit the model. And when you put it for test, it is going to fail because the real data is going to vary a lot. You get a lot of variance. So there is always the tolerance that you should maintain. There are self-tuning kind of models, MLOps kind of techniques that allow you to continuously check the bias and correct the data. Or if the accuracy is suffering, then it remodels it. So it's a continuous process where you see an optimum and reliable predictions. That's how I see it.
Thank you so much. So you're saying that they complement each other. Probably I need to ask those who are listening, those who have a question with regards to data. Anyone who wants to ask these guys, they are experts in data. Anyone who wants to ask anything with relation to the topic that they are presenting, any question, any hand up there? You know what? Normally when you see people not raising hands, it means that they've understood whatever we are saying here, or they've never understood anything. So I may raise your hands on your behalf, anyone to try so that they can save others. The relationship between the quantity and quality of data. Yes.
I was too scared that you might ask me. Just a quick question. My name is Luelo Geza, the CEO for Institute of People Management, South Africa. How can we use data, especially the mining side of things, in terms of enhancing training and development? Tomorrow I'm talking about skilling, reskilling into the future. AI is here. So we're talking about next. How can we then mine and use data to train and develop leadership, middle managers and staff into the future? And maybe just to add a little bit, Africa and South Africa, you've got a tale of two worlds. You've got the first world in South Africa and you've got the third world. When I was driving around in India, I've seen the same thing in Mumbai. You've got the first world, we also have the third world. How do we then bring, as much as we're going into the future, how do we look back and bring those who are in the third world into the future in terms of training and development? Thank you so much.
Thank you. He's the current CEO for IPM South Africa. So there are two questions that has been asked. The first question is, how do we mine data? What are the best strategies that we can use to mine data? Probably we want to use that data in training and development. The second question was, how can we bring back those that have been backwards now so that they can understand the issue of data that we are discussing about? You need to try this. I will start with you, Visha.
So, data mining, let's say you have the data in the place. And then for the data, there is infrastructure, there is a software where you can do the data mining based on the defined. And I say the whole world, if you see all the big companies, they are using the open source. So there is no dependency. You can go for the vendor software. You can choose any open source for the data mining, and which can be done very easily. World has started to do it last 10 years. If you see, there is a big data platform. If you have a lot of data, you can choose the Apache Hadoop. It's very processing, very easily you can do the data mining based on your KPI. So see, for me, when I say the AI, always I think about the creating the ecosystem. You have to get the domain expert. You have to replicate the brain of experts into the AI systems. Think about a world. If a person is coming from Oxford, he cannot match a guy who is working 20 years in the marketing. in India. He cannot compete with this man. Degree doesn't matter. So it's always important to work with those experts. Try to pick up their brain. Try to pick up their experience does matter. Because finally, we are going to replicate the human brain into the machine. So if you want to create a system, we have to engage the domain experts. You have to, if someone is working for the retail 20 years, his information, his knowledge is a gold mine for you. His doctor is a gold mine for you. You cannot ignore this system. So technology is there in the place. Only thing we have to realize, hey, we need to work where you have to get the intelligence from the human. So these are the two systems. If you can mix up, you can create a knowledge like system for your college, for your university. So rather than waiting 20 years to get that experience right away from the college, he should start learning. So I always believe that as well. So creating the knowledge lake. So you must have heard about the data lake. I used to say create the knowledge lake with the data, with the domain experts' knowledge. So you can build that kind of system.
Thank you. Yes, try to explain it. I think I will also give other panelists some room to say something. So in short, he's saying that no way to mine your data. As we said earlier, that data is like nutrition to AI. So if you feed AI with wrong nutrition, obviously you won't get good results. So no way to mine your data. There are issues to do with reliability and whatsoever. I'll give you time to respond to the question so that we can close the session.
So in order to mine the data, you have to have the data. You have to have a lot of data, right? So the data may not be there in the digital form. So first thing to do is collect every and any kind of physical data possible. Use techniques like OCR and others, and make deep and vast amounts of data records first. Find patterns. Create some kind of relations. Establish how things have been working. Then, you start finding solutions or finding some kind of suggestions from those patterns. So I see it. So for the first question, that's how I see it, at least.
I'm not sure if you are satisfied with both the answers, but I really don't know what to say, because you asked very general question, how to mine the data. We need to understand more what challenges you are facing in your data set. So I don't have any specific answer, but if you put a question in a specific format, what challenges you're facing, it's an infra challenge, it's a programming challenge, it's a model challenge, I would be in a position to answer it. We can discuss offline, but I'm sorry, I couldn't comprehend in a very specific way.
Thank you. Lastly, I would like to give you guys parting ways. What do you say to people in relation to data, AI, quantity and quality of data? Just in few words, so that all of us will get to appreciate the subject. I understand that we have learned a lot with regards to quality of data and quantity of data, issues to do with data mining, data protection, or other things. What are your parting words with regards to data?
Yeah, so if you think from the management perspective, if I am a management, if I am the owner, I will ask my technical team, hey, give me the solution with the lowest budget. If I'm a position of the developer, definitely I need to upskill my skill set. How to, as he said rightly, how to consume the data, how to process the data as a techie. If I'm in the college, I will try to understand how computer, for the college guys, there are a lot of college guys I've met, so if, for those guys, you need to understand more technically, how computer is storing the data, how processing the data, what is disk, how CPU is getting the data. So from the technical perspective, management, infrastructure, that's it. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
I would say quality and quantity is always, as I mentioned, it's a specific use case. But to the audience, what I can just say through my little bit of experience in AI over 5-6 years of experience specific in AI is going to evolve. And what trends, 3-4 trends coming is, we are going to have more accurate and efficient models. We are going to have more multi-models, like across variant different types of data, putting into one model. You have image, text, video, everything into one model. and that enrich the quality. So that is another trend. Ethical AI, transparent, explainable AI, those are another third trend which is going to happen. So from any developer or from a data science folks, I think his job is not going to be easy. He need to solve if there's a constraint from organization that they cannot train the model from large data sets. I think the quality of data and then types of AI models where there is a more of reinforcement learning, there is a transfer learning, there is a few short learning models. I think those are the algorithm advancements he needs to focus on. Quantity and quality, I leave to the specific task to be solved. Thank you.
So the quantity-quality discussion continues, but I think where it might take a different shape is they become more and more domain-specific. And the more domain-specific models evolve, domain-specific quality data becomes a commodity to sell. And as we establish clearer and clearer patterns, they stop becoming AI models and becomes rules engines in those places. And those places where specific kind of insights or predictions needed is where the newer kind of data mining takes place, is how I see it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Vishal said he needs to add something before we close this session. So I'm going to give Vishal parting words, then we close the session.
So yeah, this is especially for the guys who have started their career or the college student. If you want to build your career in the AI, don't get trapped in the fancy word of a lot of things. You need to focus in any AI project, 40% job done by the data engineering, 40% job will be done by the domain knowledge, 20% you need to brush up your 10+2 linear algebra, calculus. That's it. That is the AI. So no worry about a lot of fancy technology learned. Just brush up your fundamentals. You will be AI developer. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Beware of data overload. Can you clap hands for him? For them. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And these guys, please follow them on their LinkedIn pages. These are experts of data. I can say that. I can safely say that. I think you can agree with me from all the responses they were giving you. Thank you so much.